some of the blessings that have come out of just enduring in prayer and leading the church, but enduring in prayer? What are some of the tangible ways you've seen the favor of God as a result of that?
You know, one of my mentors, a guy named Manley Beasley, looked at me one day and he said, Bill, the mark of a godly man is that everything he does is God initiated. And everything a church, godly church, everything they do is God initiated. So to me, the joy is I don't have to come up with stuff. Now we do master planning, you know, we work hard at it. We've got the systems and all that kind of stuff. But it's with the understanding that begins in prayer and listening to God and letting Him tell us what we're supposed to do. And then we cooperate with Him. It's aggressive cooperation with the Lord. So it just takes the pressure off. Now there's a pressure to get in the presence of the Lord, live there, stay there, but that which is a discipline with all the other voices. But the rest that comes, honestly, to my soul through the years, even in preaching, you know, just not, I study, I exegete, I do all that, I work hard at it. But I've got a little sign that says, Lord, what do you want to say to the people? Because these are your sheep, they're not mine.
So really the blessing would be peace and comfort and confidence that you have because of prayer.
Psalm 23, He restores my soul. When He does that in you, then you transfer what He transforms in you. So that's what you tend to bring to others. So if it's not happening inside you, it's not likely to happen through you.
Right.
And that is, it sounds a little self-serving, but that's a rich blessing. When you're centered in Him and your soul is at rest in Him, you have incredible freedom.
It's not only good for us, it benefits the people God has allowed us to lead, and they see it.
Right.
I'm embarrassed to say this, but I mean, we probably all had when people we serve, we lead, come and say, man, something's going on in you, or you know, God's at work in you, and you're thinking, I'm probably doing more what I should be doing all along. What else? What other blessings from the enduring in prayer?
Kind of go along that line of Kevin, that, you know, as I have done this for 50 years, about every day, I have enjoyed it more and more. I have developed a greasing appetite, so that today, it's the most fun thing that I do. It's a sweet time with the Lord, and I just enjoy it. But it is also just a soul restoration for me deeply. You know, it's been said that the best thing a pastor can do for his congregation is his own love relationship with God, which is what you're saying. And that's going to grow out of that time with the Lord, prayer and the Word every day. And it's just so biblical. I mean, you just think about Paul, that, you know, the only book given the history of the early church, you know, Acts 6:4 says that what the leaders there devoted themselves was to the prayer and the ministry of the Word. And so I think when you put prayer and the Word as the top part of the church, you just sense in your spirit, this is God's way. It's not man's way. And there is a peace with it.
And it removes some of the duty, a lot of it. Like you fall in love with Jesus. That can sound trite. It's not trite.
It's not trite.
Best time of the day, you fall in love with Him.
It's the glory.
And
a friend of mine says when you think of any spiritual discipline or anything good that you want, what you want to do is make yourself do the things you want to love to do. So for example, maybe someone's an avid reader and you think, man, they must love to read. No, they somewhere along the way made themselves do something they wanted
they developed
to love to do
by doing it.
And I think that takes place in prayer. We know it intellectually, and sometimes we knew it as a child if we were blessed to have that relationship with God, and then we get in our minds and we get in our knowledge, and then we come back to that understanding, I want to love this. And once you get a taste of that,
you know,
it changes things.
I've often said everything flows from the presence of the Lord. If you have His presence, conscious presence, you got everything that you need and want. If you don't have that, you got nothing, right? So the sweetness of sitting in prayer with God, I mean, being in the throne room and knowing that and experiencing that, and then a group of people being in the presence of God and hearing from Him, you know, receiving all that He has. What in the world could be better than that? And everything flows out of that. That's why I think we're all saying it's foundational. It just has to be at the bottom or the top, however you want to say that, and everything kind of comes out of that intimacy with God. And prayer really is just the vehicle. This is a little tool that we have to be in the presence of God consciously.
But by the way, I know this is our conversation, maybe some other pastors are listening, but that doesn't mean I don't have dry seasons.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
This doesn't mean every time I
of
walk in prayer room, I say, and the Lord descends, and I'm in the glory, and I rise, and I have a vision, and then I walk out, and I have no problems.
No.
That's not true. Generally, by the end, I experience the presence of God, and if not, we'll talk all day, and I'll see you in the morning. I mean, I don't know, but you will endure desert times, lest we overstate.
Yeah, you triggered another question, though, I want to ask real quick. What are some of the personal, almost best practices, personal things that maybe are part of your prayer practice that may be beneficial to each other or to others who may hear this?
Find your personal rhythm. Find your personal way of doing it. Yeah. When I was a college freshman, I was told, and I believed it, that if you're serious about God, you'll meet with him every day. So I started doing that. But I sat at a chair in the basement for a half hour, and I'm not a sit in a chair kind of person. Later on, years later, I realized I can walk around, I can be outside, I can sing, nobody's around. Find my rhythm and my best way to connect with God, because that's the point, not going through a routine.
That's so good.
I know you love to get outdoors and run and walk. Is that a big time of prayer for you?
It is. It is.
That's good.
I was tremendously helped years ago by Martin Lloyd-Jones' commentary on the Lord's Prayer. And one of the things that he said is, notice that there are more verses, more words that Jesus devotes on how you enter into his presence than what you say when you get in there.
Wow.
And for me, one of the most important things, if I just dash in and just start reeling off stuff, but it's to consciously stop, enter into the foyer, shut the door, pray to my Father, and just spend time entering in with all those things he talks about, sincerity and faith and those kinds of things. And so that's as important to me, that component of just consciously entering his presence, as what I say when I get in there, or what we do when we get in there.
I need a place, generally. I can stand up and walk around, but I need a place. So I set aside a prayer room, and I built a place, and it helps me center myself. I'm here on purpose. I know what I'm here to do, and the Lord and I are spending some time. I'm a journaler. I have years of handwritten journals and typing in, and when I pray, and I don't always have to journal everything I say, but I process with the Lord. A normal path is worship. So if I have difficulty entering into an attentiveness, I'll turn on the worship music, and I will. I would look like a fool to anyone. If anyone walked in, they would be like, "This guy is a little strange," and I am very emotionally heart engaged with the Lord, or it doesn't work for me. It's got to have the cerebral, but it's got to have heart. So I got to engage him. Those kinds of things help me.
That's good. And you would have a kinship with someone in Scripture if people thought you looked kind of foolish as you're worshiping.
And what would you say to that, Paul?
Well, I would say very much like Kevin. For me, it's been a place, finding a place, and now it's primarily in my home, because most of the time during the day, my family is gone, and I'm able to find some time to get along with the Lord. Worship music is a big thing to draw me into the presence. Again, exactly what you said, Bill. When I remember back to college, I was really trying to pray, and I was a little more athletic at that point, and I was running. And there was a cycle that I was running that would involve several laps before I would probably get to all I could endure. And so I began to pray just with that model that I had learned way back then, the Acts model, adoration, confession, thanksgiving. And then I get to supplication, where I get to ask.
All my stuff.
And it didn't take me long to realize that I ran out of energy before I got to my stuff. And that was a good lesson, just to help me realize I want to focus on those things that are not about me, and then let God take care of this.